Yeah, it has been a big change from the previous companies I worked at, and I think one of the main reasons is the scale. Because when I think of Google, and we do a lot of research immersions, and what research immersions are, you would go to a different part of the world and like see how people are using your product, and then get those insights back to the team. So the last one I went to was in Kenya, and we went to two cities, Mombasa and Nairobi, and I think that reach is something that threw me back, right? Like people sitting in a part that you would have probably never visited or have no idea about or using your product every day. So that has been kind of the biggest change. So working at Google is a lot about thinking of things at scale, thinking of like things that you can not worry about as much when you're in a startup and you can be scrappy. But this is about making things perfect, and before you launch anything, making sure this is definitely going to provide some user value. Yeah, I think Google is at a spot where it is still a lot of companies within a company. So there are these like mini startups, if I were to say. And when you think of offices, right? Like I work out of the Bangalore office. There are a lot of projects that are Bangalore only, and we have the autonomy to make the decisions and we can make things move faster. But then there is going to be a point where like you have to get buy-in from senior leadership, right? So I wouldn't say it's like fully autonomous and you can do whatever you want. There might be opportunities where we have a thing called Area 120, where people are just given 6 months and some like funding to go like figure out a product, and they can even launch it in that time and like get that feedback. But then eventually, if you want to keep growing within Google, you have to convince like the big leaders out there. And I think which is a great learning process as well. It's just like how you would do client work, right? Like you have to sell your ideas. So you learn a lot of that. You learn how to present your work. You learn how to like convince people about what you're building is going to be worthwhile. So it definitely is painful at times if you compare it to a startup space where you could just like do things the way you want. But also, this is like as even your startup will grow, you will have to learn these skills. So that's where I would say feels like being at Google right now.